Hey, what is up guys? Medi here with Localhost Gaming, bringing you a guide to getting one of the Daedric artifacts in Skyrim. This one's the Mehrune's Razor, which is a dagger with a really interesting effect. So, once you're level 20, a courier should come to you and bring you a miscellaneous quest to go to the Dawnstar Museum, which is right here. Once you're in the museum, you want to speak to this dude named Silas, and he'll talk to you about Mehrune's Razor. After you speak to him, he'll give you the quest, and you have to essentially find these parts of the dagger, which are scattered around Skyrim. So the first place is going to be, I believe, yeah, the pommel at Dead Crone Rock, which is in the far west side of Skyrim. This pommel is pretty much like a little ball base in the bottom of the dagger. So I'm just going to show you where the entrance of the dungeon is and what you have to do in the end of it. I skipped all the stuff in between because it's pretty straightforward. But in the end of this first dungeon you have to go through has this pretty powerful dude that I actually did not notice until I came this close to him. So kill him pretty quickly. He's relatively powerful, but thanks to my sneak I easily killed him. He also drops a really nice axe with a really cool enchantment, but I didn't give him enough time to pull it out, and sadly he didn't have it on his inventory. And watch out for this trap right here. This chest, I didn't realize this chest was rigged until I opened it. So yeah, I got screwed. And I don't even know what hurt me. I just got hurt a lot. So avoid that trap. So here's the first. After you clear that dungeon, you have to go outside for a little bit and then enter a second dungeon. On top of this staircase is actually a troll hiding in this tent. So after you kill that troll, you just turn around and head towards the second dungeon. And I already skipped all the parts in the beginning. And towards the middle of the dungeon, you'll find this lever that you have to pull to unlock a little door, which is right over here. And after you exit the second part of the dungeon, you'll actually be able to get the first piece of the dagger. This is actually the hardest piece to get, so go ahead and knock that out, you know. You have to kill this witch thing, or bird lady, whatever you call them, forget their names. They're pretty strong, but thankfully I'm decent leveled. Yeah, fire breath spell is always awesome. And there's also 3 of these little turrets that you can easily take out by just hitting the gems with an arrow, or you can just run up and grab them. They don't do that terrible damage. So that's the first piece of the dagger. Also, there's an added bonus to this. You actually get a piece of a dragon shout, which I'm not going to say. You can figure out on your own. The second part is going to be I believe it's the hilt, which is in Morthal, which is right in the middle of city, right in the middle of Skyrim. You have to find this dude cutting some wood. When you speak to him, you either have to persuade him, bribe him with 388, or fight him. And I chose to brawl him because brawling is always fun. And actually, it's pretty funny. He was like, "Okay, let's fight," and then he said, "Wait, one more piece of wood." Yep, just one more piece of wood. Yep. And then after he cuts that, he starts fighting me. I'm just waiting. So after a really epic fight, he gives up, and then when you speak to him, he gives you keys to his home and he tells you where he keeps the hilt.
That's what I care about.
Oh, no, yeah, this is the hilt. So after you beat him to death, you just run to his home and grab the second part. So now the third part, which is the blade shards, are actually in this camp in the south of Skyrim.
Now ain't this a surprise?
Actually, this place is called Cracked Husk Keep, and it's actually a place it's just filled with hunters and bandits. In the dungeon, in the area that you go to, there's actually this really strong dude. You have to watch out before he drops some good loot, though.
No more. I yield. I yield.
You actually have to kill him because he drops a key that you need to go to the next part of the dungeon where they keep the blade shards. That's the key right there. You can either get the key or you can, if you have a really good lockpick, you can just pick it. It has an expert lock on it, which is that thing right there. Then you'll find a nice little place they rigged up with a bunch of traps to keep the shards safe, but they're easy to bypass. You have to pull these 2 levers, and then there's a bunch of traps right over here. I went to the very left side, and yeah. You can actually trigger the trap if you just go up to it and press E. Those traps actually like insta-kill you. I hate them. So here's the 3rd piece of the blade. After you get that, you want to go back to the museum and talk to Silas, and he'll be ecstatic that you got him.
What is it?
Blade.
Do you have
pieces.
one of the razor fragments?
And he'll give you a nice sum of money. I believe he gives you 2,400 gold.
You're efficient. I like that. Here's your reward.
After you speak to him, he'll tell you to meet him at Mehrune Dagon's shrine. So once you journey on there, he'll try to communicate with Mehrune Dagon. And since he is weak, he will not give a response.
And Dagon should speak to us.
Not to you. So after he attempts to speak to him, he'll have you speak to Mehrune Dagon, and he will tell you to kill Silas. And for those of you who try to follow a positive moral conscience in this game, you have to kill Silas if you want the dagger. If you don't kill him, you will just get a small sum of money.
I can take the pieces back to my museum, seal them in a display case. You get a generous amount of gold, I get to complete my collection, and nobody has to die.
I believe he only gives you 500.
Fine.
500 gold if you choose not to kill him, but hey, a freaking Daedric artifact is worth more than 500 gold. So of course I kill him. And Shadowmere tries to get into the fight.
I will give you my razor. Use it to wreak havoc on Tamriel.
When you get the razor, he actually, a nice little animation happens. It's pretty cool. I was impressed by this. So of course, Mehrune Dagon, being a sneaky bastard, he tries to fight you again with 2 more, but they're nothing to worry about. They drop some decent loot, and they each have Daedra heart, which are needed for smithing Daedric weapons. And that's the guide to getting one of the Daedric artifacts. I plan on making more videos to cover all the Daedric artifacts and even some special weapons you can find throughout Skyrim. I also plan on doing some Fallout stuff in the future.